Good morning, everyone. This is Matthias Chang from Future Fast Forward once again. Today I will address three issues concerning statements made by our Prime Minister. Before doing so, may I remind all of you that you will notice a trend for the last 2 years that whenever we caught the Prime Minister and his scumbag, loyal but not smart cronies lie and lie and lie again, and we expose those lies and give you the truth, there'll be a silence for 1 or 2 weeks. And then the same lie comes back again and again and again, maybe by a different person or a different context, but the lie is repeated. Now, why is it so? Because I can guarantee you, the people in charge of propaganda, of promoting lies in our country, has taken to heart one of the masters of propaganda, Goebbels of Germany, who said that if a lie keeps repeating itself time after time, the mere repetition of the lie will ultimately convince people that it's the truth. Once again, I repeat, a lie that's repeated often. Alright? When you're bombarded with a lie, it gets embedded in your brain, in your subconscious, and then ultimately you accept the lie as a truth. By way of analogy, but in a more subtle form, why are advertisements, no change, the content, the words, the picture, shown on television or radio or internet, is repeated very often in one day, right? It goes on for months until you accept the slogan, the tagline, that this product or whatever product represent the truth or whatever statement relating to the product. Can you see the difference now? The similarities and difference, okay? One talks about product, but another propaganda talks about lies and more lies. And that's why it's so important for me to counterattack those lies. And some of you may feel that I'm repeating myself. I have to repeat myself and counterattack those lies because Najib, the Prime Minister, UMNO, the scumbag UMNO, and the entire criminal regime machinery keeps on repeating. And I have to repeat myself to counter those propaganda because not everyone has the opportunity to watch my video or to hear my explanation being disseminated by other people. That's why it's so important that we focus on the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You will recall just the other day that Najib issues another challenge to everyone who opposes him. He says in the coming general election, challenge him in Pekan. And that he was so boastful and so confident that he will now increase his majority by 40,000 votes as compared to the last election when he won about 35,000 votes. Alright? See how he shifts his challenge. First, you recall, I said in my previous speech, he said, you cannot topple me. You can only do so by one route, by one way in a general election. And his mouthpiece, Musa Hitam, said the same thing. Alright? Go after him in a general election. And when Tun Mahathir and his colleagues formed a party and haven't registered, they condemn him. that the registration of a new party is wrongful, is treacherous to UMNO, to Malay power, to Agama Islam. But he sacked those leaders and invited people to challenge him. And when we challenged him, he then shifted, all right, and changed the goalposts and the rules of the game. Because subsequently, on 27 August, all right, and I drew your attention, he made a statement. Remember this statement? Anyone who wants to topple him, and use the word toppled, contest in the UMNO elections. You got it? Remember these words, these are his immortal words, his boast, his challenge. And then what? I then took up the challenge and I said, I will challenge you in the UMNO election. Invite me to be a member and let me speak to all the UMNO members throughout the country. And if he dare, right, revoke the ban of my passport, withdraw the charge that I'm a terrorist under SOSMA and the Penal Code. If he's not afraid of me, why use a trauma charge against me? Level the playing field, even though his advantage, because UMNO is controlled by him. I challenge him openly. And yet, now he says, challenge me in Pekan. You see? One lie after another. One boast after another. Right? He gives convey an impression, and gives the impression he is very confident. He can take on everyone. He says, I'll take on everyone. I'm not afraid of anyone. Not even in an insulting way. I'm not afraid of anyone. Am I supposed to fear a 19-year-old man referring obliquely to Tun Mahathir? You see? Did anyone say he fears Tun Mahathir? But the very fact he declared this statement in that manner shows his diffidence, his cowardice, and his hypocrisy. That's why we need to take it head on and expose that all these bravados, these challenges are all thunder and no rain. He's a scumbag artist. Najib is a particular court artist that issues challenge to people out of bravado. No substance, okay? No substance at all. Now let me tell you, all of you, good Malaysians, all of you, he has a lot of money and you deploy those monies in the next election, if there's one election, okay? He'll buy votes as he has done before. Because he said his so-called Arab donation was used for the election. So there is outright admission he will use money to buy votes. I didn't say he said it. UMNO leaders say the donation was used inter alia, among other things, besides fighting ISIS, was used in the 30th general election. So it's not beyond any doubt that in the coming election, he will use money to buy your votes. Corruption to the hilt. But let me tell you this. He has challenged us to take him on in Pekan. But let me say this to him, to his scumbag Prime Minister, and to his followers. You don't decide the venue of the battlefield. You don't decide how we fight you. We will fight you, if I may borrow the expression, at a time and place of our choosing. You cannot dictate to us. Let me tell you this. Don't be so confident in Pekan or those so-called hideouts and strongholds of your handful of cronies. Because I've told a lot of people throughout Malaysia, and there's nothing wrong, and I'll disclose to you now, because it's not a secret. Why should it be a secret? I've told many people to form vigilantes. Vigilantes in those constituencies which you boast are your stronghold. As I said earlier, will focus on the 30 hardcore cronies of your regime and will defeat you. How? Very simple. Using money to buy votes is corruption and against the Election Commission. So all of you can volunteer to be the political vigilante. Now, whenever they offer you money, make sure the giver from UMNO or from Brazil National give to you in front of a group of people, maybe 4 or 5. 4 or 5 people. When they are giving you the money, they'll be distracted, isn't it? Let 1 or 2 talk to the giver of the money, while at the 3rd person or 4th person, use your handphone, film the giving of the money. So we have hardcore evidence. And if Hardy, the scumbag, says that we need 4 witnesses for any crime, well, you have 4 or 5 people, right? In a crowd, receiving the evidence. Okay? So what you all do is, good people of Malaysia, infiltrate their ranks, pretend to support them, ask for help, and see what they do. When they offer you money, okay, get a crowd to be witness, take the money, film it, date it, the time, the amount, put the money in an envelope, seal it, and have it signed by witnesses. This will be the evidence. And let me tell you, alright, one way to expose this criminal regime is make sure they spend as much money as they have. Because previously, in the past election, they treat you with contempt. They insult you. They offer you 50 ringgit, 100 ringgit. In the case of Kumar Pasu, way back, when Tun Mahathir retired and gave the seat, Kumar Pasu, to my former colleague, Datuk Johari Baharom, his former political secretary and now MP for Kumar Pasu. You know how they prevent Mahathir from being a delegate to UMNO elections? They give 100 ringgit in an envelope to buy Malay votes, to vote against Mahathir, to be part of the delegation. 100 ringgit. You see how they insult you? That you can only be bought for the mere 50 ringgit, 100 ringgit. This time round, don't be so stupid. You know why? Because recently, a scumbag, corrupt, gangster politician from Sungai Besar, by the name of Jamal Muhammad Yunus, that's what he said. He announced that he will pay 1,000 ringgit to every delegate to attend the divisional meeting. Okay? And this was condemned by a former bigwig of UMNO, Rais Zatin, as money politics. He is going to pay 646 delegates with 1,000 ringgit. So what's the total? 646 times 1,000 is 646,000 ringgit to buy you UMNO delegates to his division. Okay? And then the head of Selangor, UMNO, No Omar, you know what he said? Can you read it? Can you focus the words? No said if he was a division chief, he will give each branch chief 2,000 ringgit and not just 1,000 ringgit. So 646 delegates times 2,000 is over $1 million dollars. Now, pause here, right? If these scumbags are willing to pay 2,000 just for a UMNO meeting, what more in a general election where you will decide whether they remain in power as an MP or ADUN? If they already pay 2,000 to scumbags, UMNO members in an UMNO meeting, and you are offered $50 or $100, I think you're very stupid. They insult your intelligence. So let me advise you. If they offer you any bribe, okay, ask them for the source and then ask for more. And then record their giving as evidence of corruption and buying of votes, so that the Election Commission, MACC, IGP cannot say, oh, it's not a donation, it's not buying votes. Because an MP, an adult, or any party activist cannot go and buy votes like that. Okay? We whack them this way. Okay? Form vigilantes. And he says, right, he will have 40,000 majority. Let's see. In Pekan, I'm told there are already 300 vigilantes submerged within your ranks. And this will multiply throughout the country. Keep quiet, stay low profile, slowly but surely infiltrate their ranks, get all the evidence, so that, right, whatever money they robbed us, they raped us, to be part of the war chest, make sure that war chest is depleted. Because that is taxpayers' money. And use this as evidence against them. Alright? Then another issue which I want to highlight to you is Najib's statement. He says this: if any of our citizens call on foreign powers to intervene in our own affairs, they are not patriots. They are in fact betraying their people. Got that? If any of our citizens call for foreign powers to intervene in our affairs, they are not patriots. They're in fact betraying the people. The key word is call foreign powers to intervene in our affairs. Intervene. The word intervene means, right? Simple. Get involved. Now, this man, he can't have the cake, eat it. He goes to America, play golf with Obama, and ask Obama to intervene, to support him. When you ask Obama to support your regime, you're asking intervention to support you. And you tell the whole country you have the support of a war criminal, Obama, who indulged in extrajudicial killing. You know that? He has the power to kill anyone in the world, and he has a kill list. A kill list. And he decides by himself who to kill in Middle East, in America, anywhere in the world, who he thinks is a threat to him or to America. So we have such a person, a war criminal that destroyed Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Bahrain, Afghanistan, as a supporter. A man who incites Muslim to kill Muslim, to support him, to intervene in Muslim affairs. And how does he do it? By playing golf with Obama. So if you ask for support, isn't that intervention? So intervention can have two kinds: to support or to oppose. So when you're involved in crime, in money laundering, in racketeering, in corruption, other countries, other leaders who uphold international law against money laundering, against racketeering, against corruption across borders, have every right to criticize you. Now, if you support Obama, and Obama has invaded other countries in the name of humanitarianism, in the name of democracy, and you don't condemn him, you play golf with him, how can you say other countries, other leaders who say you are wrong, you're a criminal, you're a money launderer, you're a racketeer, you're a corrupt government leader? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, scumbag? What's wrong with that, UMNO? Can you see now? How this propaganda, how they twist the facts. Oh, he can ask people to intervene in the affairs of Malaysia if he's supported. If his regime, all right, is supported. China is giving money to build it out, 1 MDB, by buying land in, right, Tun Razak Exchange, by buying land in Bandar Malaysia, by building out, buying energy assets. That's not interfering. There's no interfering to bail you out when that land, Tun Razak Exchange, is meant for only Bumiputra and to promote Islamic finance. But because you scumbag criminal cabal stole the money and now it's in the fix, you want bail out, you invite China to bail you out. There's no interfering. Then what is it? So can you see, my fellow Malaysians, how subtle, how devious is this propaganda? That's why today there's no holds barred when they expose these lies, sickening lies, distortion, misrepresentation, so that they can never ever get away with it. Now, another issue is this. All right? Recently, the minister, a colleague of the Prime Minister, Datuk Abdul Rahman Dahlan. Now, he says this is, I quote, the statement he made, right, to BBC. I've said it openly. Obviously, if you read the documents, it is a Prime Minister. The BBC quoted him as saying in an article titled, "Who is Malaysian Official 1? Case closed," published on his website on Thursday. So this minister now confirms that MO1 is a Prime Minister and exposes the stupid Langkawi MP that MO1 is Agong. Okay? So, if the minister was not a lawyer, having read the documents in DOJ complaint filed in California, and I've come out openly to say MO1 is a Prime Minister, how can the AG, the Attorney General, as the appendices, DOJ did not name Najib when all the evidence point to him? You see? So can you see that how strange? After this open admission by Rahman Dahlan, the MO1 is Najib, AG is silent. He's a lawyer. He's the Attorney General. But he says, all right, Najib is not named. You see, another lie, another distortion, misrepresentation. As I said before, police, when they investigate crimes committed by, say, a rapist, a robber, an attack, in Malaysia we have closed circuit TVs, right? Zooming on the crime scene, and often, very often, the IGP, the OCPD, or the CPO ask the public to come forward to give evidence what they saw, what they witnessed in the crime scene. And most glaring example was when DPP Morias was kidnapped and murdered at a traffic junction. Did not the police invite the public to come forward to give evidence? They don't know the name of the perpetrators at all, but by giving facts, for example, the clothes they wear, the vehicle they were traveling in, and other factors, it helped the police arrest the perpetrators of the crimes, isn't it? So you don't have to have the name of a criminal in order to investigate, arrest, and charge that criminal. So the lie, the damn lie, that DOJ did not name Najib. Therefore, his excuse from investigation is a blatant lie, a distortion, and it's a misrepresentation of the truth. And now that Rahman Dalang has admitted that it means Prime Minister, the whole country should demand from the Attorney General to investigate Najib. And yet, following the admission by Rahman Dalang, the IGP, look at him. Don't drag us into politics over Najib is one MO1 issue. I've said this before, that whatever action taken in the US is a civil action. We don't get involved in civil suits. I don't want to meddle in political matters. Don't drag us into politics, IGP said. This is a blatant lie. Blatant lie, my fellow Malaysians. Why? How can this be politics? You say this, you won't take action because politics. Then why arrest me, charge me, and imprison me under the Penal Code and SOSMA for accompanying my client to lodge a police report? That's what politics is. It's my duty, isn't it, to ensure proper police report is lodged with authorities so that crime can be investigated. That's nothing to do with politics, right? But then, you see, you never hesitated. You sent your hound dogs to arrest me, charge me, imprison me. Why this double standard? And yet, you say you will not interfere in civil action. But you forgot, you see, and I catch you, that when DOJ made the press conference, what was the response of the Prime Minister? This is what he says, and I quote, "We note the United States Department of Justice civil lawsuits brought against various assets." Keywords, brought against various assets, not individuals, admission. As previously stated, the Malaysian government will fully cooperate with any lawful investigation of Malaysian companies or citizens in accordance with international protocols. And the Prime Minister has always maintained, if any wrongdoing is proven, the law will be enforced without exception. These are the words of the Prime Minister from the Prime Minister's office. Full cooperation with DOJ. Anybody proven guilty will be enforced without exception. So IGP, you're supposed to follow up with the investigation. You're supposed to cooperate with DOJ. But now you say it's civil suit. The press statement of the Prime Minister says it will cooperate with the investigation. Alright? And there is a press statement by Abu Qasim, former head of ACC, that they have been cooperating with the FBI and DOJ. This is a press statement. Okay? So what are you talking about? MACC is cooperating. PM's department says they will cooperate. But you say it's a civil suit. Why do you lie and why do you mislead? You will recall in my previous address, all of you, I have to repeat again. At page 8, para 13 of the DOJ complaint, it was stated very clearly, and I'll read out to you. Numerous assets, including the dividend asset, were acquired with funds unlawfully diverted from 1MDB, or funds traceable thereto. As a result, the defendant asset is subject to forfeiture to the United States pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 91A1A because it's a property involved in one or more money laundering transaction. Involved in money laundering. Money laundering is a crime, stupid idiots, scumbags. In violation of 18 USC 1956 and 1957. It is also a violation of US law as defined in 18 USC 1956 and 1961. And they said very clearly that civil forfeiture is to prevent the criminals from disposing of the assets. It's a methodology of preserving the assets to prevent criminals from hiding, disposing of the assets. Alright? For their money laundering activity, which is a crime. Okay? Get in your fat head and stop misleading Malaysians, right? The procedure is a civil suit in furtherance of criminal investigation, in furtherance of catching criminals who have contravened criminal legislation. Okay? USC 1956, which I've read to you just now, deals with money laundering. Okay? Get it here? Alright? You're not stupid, you're not blind. IGP, you're not stupid, you're not blind. Attorney General. Alright? These are criminal sections of the code. And they've been contravened. There was also a reference to 18 USC 1961. It covers racketeering. You got it? If you have not understood, right, then you're not fit to be the IGP. You're not fit to be the Attorney General because you don't know the law, or you chose to ignore the law and mislead the public and the country. Okay? And 18 USC 1964 spells out the remedies available to the authorities. Okay? The words are very clear. The district courts of the United States shall have jurisdiction to prevent and restrain violations of section 1962 of this chapter. Okay? There are very specific remedies provided for. By ordering any person to divest himself of any interest, direct or indirect, in any enterprise. Okay? Restriction of future activities or investment. Okay? And other procedures. So, I have briefly summarized for you, alright, and expose the distortion, the misrepresentation of the Prime Minister, his ministers, IGP, and the Attorney General. This is itself a crime because it's an attempt to cover up the crimes. Why to today, after so many years of investigation, has there been a request to Interpol to arrest Jolo, a Malaysian citizen? For a start, the minimum. Why has the CEO of 1MDB, the former CEO, and the current CEO, Arukanda, not arrested for questioning? 1MDB has been fined by Bank Negara for contravening, okay, financial laws. If you have contravened financial laws and found guilty, and a fine is imposed, have you not sabotaged? Have you not brought into question the integrity of the bankings, the banks and financial institutions of Malaysia? Yet they're not arrested, huh? But you have the audacity, the hypocrisy to arrest me, a lawyer, helping my client to lodge a police report. And you say lodging a police report against these scumbags, now proven by Bank Negara's action, 1MDB, having contravened laws and fined. I'm sabotaging the banks. But they are not. They paid a fine. Scumbag. M-Bank has also found guilty and paid 57 million as a fine for contravening laws, undermining the integrity of his own bank and the entire banking industry. How come they're not arrested or charged and in prison? Have by their payment of fine evidence that they have sabotaged the integrity of the banks in Malaysia. You see, God is great, you know. You lie and cheat and misrepresent, but in the end, you're caught up in your own stupid, infantile, childish lies. And may you be punished by God Almighty. Be punished by God Almighty. Lastly, and since IGP, you are a Muslim, Attorney General, you are a Muslim, the Prime Minister, you being a Muslim, let me tell you, and let me quote you, what's in store for you as a Muslim. The first is, I'd like to quote to you, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat 42, verse 42. And cover not truth with falsehood. Huh? Don't charge me for wrongful actions when I'm innocent, and then cover up the crimes of other people and not charging them. Nor conceal the truth when you know what it is. Don't conceal the truth. The Quran says so. Don't conceal the truth that I was doing my lawful duty. I did not commit any crime. Don't conceal the truth that other people, M-Bank, 1MDB, has committed a crime, Jolo. Surah 39, Al-Zumar, verse 3, ayat 3. God guides not such as are false and ungrateful. Be careful your actions. Don't you dare invoke Allah or the Quran when by your action and by your words and your public statement you have contravened these two surahs. And let me now tell you what Prophet Muhammad says. What are the foremost virtue in Islam? They are trustworthiness and truthfulness. Truthfulness and trustworthiness are virtues of foremost importance in Islam. In the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, these are the prerequisites of faith. Without them, no one can be a true Muslim. Alright? Trustworthiness and truthfulness. You are public officials. God demands that you be trustworthy. You are trustee of our monies, taxpayers' monies. You are a trustee of the reputation, integrity, and good name of our country. You must therefore tell the truth. And in Surah Al-Mu'minun, verses 8 to 11, it says this: those who faithfully observe their trust and their covenant, as ministers, as prime ministers, as attorney general, as IGP, you hold your office on trust. You have a trust duty. You have a covenant. You give an oath to Agong, and who strictly guard their prayers. This will be as would inherit paradise. they were well dwelling. Only if you trust, if you are truthful, will you inherit paradise. However, you may have forgotten, but let me remind you, as narrated by a famous scholar, Abu Hurairah, who quoted the Prophet, peace and blessing upon him. He said, signs of a hypocrite are three. When he speaks, he lies. And you've been lying about what MDB. You've been lying who are the criminals. You've been lying to say I'm a terrorist. I should be arrested, charged, in prison. You lie. Second, whenever he promises, he breaks his promise. You promise to uphold the law. In your oath to the Agong, you make that promise, you break the promise. And whenever he has been entrusted, he betrays his trust. When you take the oath, you betray the oath, you betray the trust. Even if he fasts and prays, and even he claims he is a Muslim. You fast and pray and claim you're a Muslim, does not absolve you from this sin, because you have been a hypocrite by your behavior, by your action. And then another famous passage which I want to read to you, as written by Abdullah bin Masud. Observe truthfulness as a duty and always speak the truth, for truthfulness puts you on the path of virtue, and virtue leads you to heaven. And when a person tells the truth as a rule and makes truthfulness a way of life, he attains the place of sincerity and faithfulness. And with God, his name is written among the scripture. And stay strictly away from falsehood, for falsehood puts you on the path of immorality and leads you to hell. And when a man takes to lie, the sequel is that his name is written with God among the faithless and insincere. Quoted from Bukhari and Muslim. I hold it for 5 seconds so you can never forget this passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this is very important. This passage from the Surah Al-Imran, verses 159 to 160. Then when thou hast taken a decision, put thy trust in God. For God loves those who put their trust in Him. If God helps you, none can overcome you. If He forsakes you, who is there after that that can help you? In God then, let believers put their trust. Now do you understand why? In every speech that I made, in every address that I make to you, all of you, especially to these scumbags, surrender to the will of the God. Have absolute faith that He will protect us, defend us, and guide us under all circumstances in the face of all enemies and adversities. It is in accordance with Surah Al-Imran, verses 159 and 160. Because in trust with God Almighty is the only solution, only salvation. Because He will answer our prayers. Who else can answer your prayers? So therefore, you sinners, you unbelievers, you better repent. Because the surah says you have to uphold a trust. It's a duty imposed by God on you. Don't tell any more lies. And do good and repent. So with that, I'd like to say to all of you, my fellow Malaysians, Saudara, Saudari, be vigilant, ever vigilant. You have heard me speak on these issues over and over again. But each time, these scumbags will twist and turn and distort it And it's a new message. There's new discovery, new evidence. None. Essentially, the same crime has been committed. They have not repented and not been punished. But doing their very best to get out of that crime. Alright? Defeat them. That is our duty. God commands us that we must defeat them. We cannot allow our country, our people, to be corrupted, to be hollowed out. Because when our country is hollowed out, destroyed from within, then our very soul, our very heart, our minds are destroyed. And we are zombies. We are useless as human beings. So, once again, my fellow Malaysians, saudara saudari, time is coming fast, coming to an end very soon. We will have victory and we will prevail. But quite often, the darkest hour is just before dawn, meaning before the light shines upon us, before God intervenes on our behalf, everything seems to be very dark, insurmountable, severe challenge. But God said, the darkest hour is just before dawn. We are now in the darkest hour, just before dawn. Persevere, hold on to the truth, and soon dawn will come and lighten the darkness and set all these followers of Satan away in everlasting hellfire. Then a new Malaysia will be born. We will be cleansed of all these sins, these crimes. And a new Malaysia with a new vision, new spirit will triumph. With that, I want to thank all of you for your attention and I bid you a good day. And until total victory, I hope we will meet again soon. Thank you very much.